Hey everybody, Vinny Sinisi here. I'm out to lunch today with a really good friend, Dr. Ted Vickey. And if you want to get in shape, this is the guy. Wait till you hear this story. I mean, it goes all the way back to 94, but you were like 24 when you started that gig, right?
24. That's
24 right. In 94, you can do the math. And you were like the head fitness guy for the White House?
I was in charge of the White House Athletics Center.
How does a 24-year-old get into the White House other than, being arrested on the front lawn?
Yeah, I used to say it was a lot of luck, but I realized later in my life that it was a lot of hard work. I actually did my internship at the White House under the first Bush administration.
Really?
From Penn State. I had a degree in exercise physiology and needed to do an internship, so I applied to 3 places. USA Today, ComSat, the White House, 4 places, and the LA Lakers. So I had to have an internship to graduate. So I had family in D.C., drove down to D.C., and I was supposed to go into USA Today first, but they canceled, so I go to the White House. Look, I'm a middle-class kid from Lake Erie, right? I'm walking into the White House, and I sat there, and at the end of the interview, they said, "You're hired."
Just like that?
Just like that.
Did they interview anybody else? Or?
Well, I hope not. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been there.
Well, maybe they had somebody ahead of you, and they said, well, this is the guy.
Well, let's say that's what happened.
But you're the only guy. They were like, yeah, this is our guy.
Well, I don't remember going to the other 2 interviews. I went, but I was probably one of the cockiest people you'd ever want to meet. Oh, but I mean, I was going to the White House.
But that's probably what sold it.
Probably.
I used to tell the kids that I coached, I know they'd say about, that guy's just arrogant. And I said, well, what's the difference between arrogance and confidence? And they'd say, well, I said, the spelling. I said, they used to think Barry Bonds was arrogant, but he was so confident every time he walked up there that everybody thought, well, he's just arrogant. He thinks he's going to hit a home run. And then he would, right?
He would.
So were you a fitness guy like growing up?
Yeah, I was a swimmer and played water polo. I actually played water polo at Penn State.
Oh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I went to the state meet in Pennsylvania in high school, about 15th in the state. And then it was funny going to Penn State. Everyone knows about the football team. I walked onto the swim team, and the first day of practice, swim coach had us running the stairs at Beaver Stadium. And I said, I'm out. I'm not doing that. And I played water polo in high school, too, so I joined the water polo team and played for 4 years there.
I'd have drowned. Just treading water with just your feet.
Yeah.
And you got the ball, and right?
Yep.
Were you any good?
I got invited to Olympic tryouts in '98. I didn't go.
No, because you were at the White House.
Well, 88. Sorry, 88.
88. And you were at the White House in 94?
91 as an intern. So I had a 3-month internship. And I remember at the end, they didn't have a spot for me. So they connected me to HUD, Health and Human Development. And it was a company called PKI. PKI ran fitness centers for government agencies. And I went to work there. Now, I've always been a tech guy. My mom worked for IBM back in the 60s. Remember the old punch cards?
Oh, yeah.
So you ask my dad now, the best thing they ever did was buy that PS2 computer, probably spent $10,000 for. So all of us, I have 5 siblings, we all learned how to, technology computers back then. So at the White House, I remember I walk in the first day, this is 91, they had paper records, like a notebook. I said, I can automate that for you. So I took the member roster and I put on an Excel spreadsheet. They thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. So
we like this guy.
Yeah.
You can stay.
So I ended up going to HUD, and the company PKI had a computer division. So they asked me to come out and to work on some of the tech stuff. I remember I would do customer service, and a group exercise person called in and said they can't get their computer thing to close. And I'm turning into this tech person to figure out what's wrong with it. They had the disk out, and they put their water bottle inside the computer holder, where the CD would come out. Half hour on the call. I learned then you got to back up. You got to realize people really don't know what you know.
Holy crow!
And then I got a call from my boss Denise at the White House. She said, "I met the man of my dreams. I'm moving to Detroit. Do you want to buy my company?" I was 24. I was working my way up the other company. She was marrying Dan Quayle's Secret Service agent. They're still married today. Hi, Denise, in Austin, Texas. And I thought, sure, why not? I mean, what's the worst going to happen? you work at the White House for a year, you get fired, go home, live with mom and dad in Pennsylvania. So I went. And it was the biggest decision I ever made in my life because it changed everything.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a scientist. I didn't know how to run a business. And I knew every one of my competitors wanted my client, right? Because it's the White House.
Right?
But that's why they wanted me, because they knew, for me, it was about the office. If you look at people that work for the administrations, about 70% of our fitness center members were career people. They were there no matter who the president was. And you got the 30% that are real diehard Democrats or Republicans. But the reason why we were a contract was they wanted consistency across the administrations. Do you remember when Hillary got in office, Travelgate?
We all remember that.
Travelgate. I was there, and I thought, what can I do? So I had this ingenious idea. I went to the chairman of the board of the fitness center and said, I want a 5-year rotating contract. He said, what are you talking about? No matter when you looked at my contract, it was 5 years. So if a new administration came in and they wanted to get rid of me, they didn't pay me out. So every year that ended, another year got added.
5 years, shrewd.
5 years.
So growing up, though, you were a golfer?
Mm-mm.
Swimmer. That's
Swimmer.
It.
I didn't know how to golf until I got into the White House.
Really? And
yeah.
Was that like a prerequisite? You had to golf with all those guys?
I wish. There's actually a White House golf team.
Of course.
They're all the employees. I wish I had done that because they played some great courses, Congressional and some of those other places. There's a course in D.C. called Burning Tree. Have you heard of it?
No.
Yeah. No women allowed.
Don't let that hold you back from watching the rest of the podcast.
I don't know how to get away with it. But there are so many congressmen, senators, people at the White House that are members there. It's in Maryland. Yep.
No women.
I'll take it back. They're allowed on, back then they were allowed on once a year.
No.
It was December 15th when they could go in and buy things for their husbands for Christmas.
But not to play.
Not to play.
Golly. Is that the same now, or don't you know?
I don't know. I know it's still there, but I don't know if it's
I'm sure
it's that
people are like checking it out on Google and DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, Google it. Burning Tree. Probably burningtree.com.
Burning Tree? Yeah,
Yep.
cool.
Haven't played that one.
So how'd you get into golf? Just because the White House, you were surrounded by those guys?
I needed a challenge in life. It was either women or golf. So I thought, let's go with golf.
And you became really good.
I'm an avid but average golfer.
You wrote this book.
I did write a book.
101 fitness tips for golf.
I did.
Just one would work for me. 101, maybe I'll read the last one. And it is helicopter.
That's a good exercise.
I'll bet it is. But you've written more than just one book.
I'm up to 6.
6 books. Are they all like this? Or
no, there's some thick ones.
Is there?
Yeah.
And what are they? Are they golf? Are they?
Well, the first one, so I had a publisher in Monterey, California.
Right.
And he has a series, 101 whatever. So he had a book called 101
Dalmatians?
No. Fitness games for kids at camp. You wouldn't believe this, but there's a huge industry for for campers with kids. So they had this book they wanted to write. So I took games that you and I grew up with, like Uno.
Yeah.
Remember Uno?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, if it's a red card, it's push-ups, and whatever card you draw, you got to do 9 push-ups. So we did games like that. I came up with 101 of them. It was hard. It was before AI, right? So it was really hard to do. And I said, I'll write that book if you let me write the book I really want, which was that one. That was the third. The first one was called The Partner's Guide to Fitness. Remember, their orange covers. There was a big series that.
Yep.
I remember the publisher. I shared it with Oprah, and our books came out on the same day.
No, no competition there.
And I didn't know this, so there was a Barnes and Nobles about 2 blocks from the White House, and I knew my book was coming. I went over. There was my book. There were 2 of them, but it was in the back. So I took my 2 books. I put them up on the front counter. I didn't know any difference, but people actually pay. I mean, you pay for that space.
Absolutely. It's like cereal boxes in the grocery store.
So,
did that help?
I had 2 sales.
Were you one of them and your mom the other?
No, my aunt actually found one of my books in Boston, Massachusetts at a thrift store.
Oh, nice.
Aunt Carrie. So Aunt Carrie, this one's for you. But if you haven't figured out by now, I could be a little bit of a smart ass. So she wrote a message to all the family.
My kind of guy.
Yeah. I'm one of 35 grandkids on my mom's side. So it's a big family.
Are you all Catholics or
Catholic
Mormons?
Irish. Yep, Catholic Irish.
From, what'd you say, Erie?
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Whew.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she said, hey, I got one of your books. I paid $1 for it. So she sent it to me one Christmas to autograph it. So my autograph said, to my favorite Aunt Carrie, thanks for being my biggest athletic supporter. Love, Ted. Sent it back to her.
Good jock.
Yeah.
So what's happened? Like, you were in the White House 94
94
to
05.
05. So you had Clinton
Yep.
and Monica
Yeah.
doing push-ups underneath the desk.
Yep.
And then you had Bush.
Had Bush.
And most of those guys, are they on a regimen of staying in shape? I mean, do they have to work out? Do they have like a trainer like you that says, all right, we got to get on the bike today and ride it for a half hour or something like that? I mean, our presidents stay in good shape, right? They have to. We don't want them croaking.
Well, the first thing I would suggest is they are under so much stress. Let's take politics aside. Look at Obama when he first got in office and when he leaves.
Yeah.
The gray in the hair.
Absolutely. That's true with most of them.
With all of them. Look, there were, you remember the TV show 24?
Yeah.
With Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah.
That office was right next to the fitness center. And they kind of adopted me. And I remember I was 25, so I was in for a year. And the colonel called me over and, I need to talk to you. I'm like, oh, what did I do? He said, have a seat. He said, the Russians and the Chinese have a dossier on you. Like, what are you talking about? He said, think about it. You'd be the perfect spy. You're in the fitness center. People let their guard down. You could take compromising pictures if you needed to. So he said, here's the number. If anything happens, call us. We'll come get you. And it was that moment when I felt like I'm on the inside now.
Yeah.
But that was kind of scary to think about.
So what do they do? Do they work out regularly? I mean, you said a lot of stress, but they got to do something to relieve the...
Well, let's look at, we were talking earlier about the President's Council on Physical Fitness. That was started by Eisenhower and Kennedy. Johnson elevated it.
Now we brought it back.
We brought it back a couple of months ago. I think it was the Obama got rid of it. But let's start with the elder Bush.
Okay.
Big golfer. In fact, he had at one time the speed record for golf in terms of running a golf course.
Really?
Oh yeah, up in Kennebunkport, he would run the golf course.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he was very fit. And I think he played baseball at Yale.
Yeah, he did.
And obviously being a fire pilot. And then Clinton came in, and Clinton, it's funny, if you look, I would say he's healthier now than he was back then. Like, there was a McDonald's across the street from us.
He liked his French fries.
We could tell when Mrs. Clinton was in office because, his staff would go get him. And he would go outside and he would run on the streets. And if you live in D.C., you hated that because for the president to go outside of it's called the 18 acres.
Yeah.
There are 100 people. There are police and fire and everything. But he would use it more as a political. He'd stop, shake hands with everybody. It wasn't really a workout. But then they put a track on the south lawn of the White House when I was there, and he would run there. And then you get W coming into office. Now, I would say W is probably one of the most fit men I've ever met. There was an incident once where he passed out. He was watching a football game, and he got a pretzel stuck. Well, his heart rate was so low, it was just a natural that just happened to pass out. And I remember that they had to hire some new Secret Service agents to be able to keep up with it because he would run.
Holy crow.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. There's this great book. I'm going to bring it in for you. It's called First Off the Tee. It looked at how the presidents used golf as part of their administration. After 9/11, President Bush said, I cannot play golf when I'm putting our children in harm's way. So he basically gave up golf for the rest of his term in office. So
Wow.
he didn't play.
I met Bill Clinton, told you this, and Hillary in 1978 in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Clinton's mom was good friends with my Aunt Rosalie. And I was 21. I could care less about politics. I was supposed to be down in Fort Lauderdale for, spring break. And charismatic, my aunt actually said, this is our lieutenant governor, soon to be the governor of Arkansas, and one day he's going to be president of the United States of America. And I said, yeah, whatever, who cares? Yeah. So, and then my oldest son, went to Texas to play baseball in 2001. and that was with the hanging Chad and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And so Bush came into the University of Texas gym to work out.
Yeah.
While my son was in there alone working out. They shook hands, and I said, "What'd you think?" He said, "Well, I asked him, how's it going with the election?" And Bush said, "Oh, we're going to win." So, but you talk about working out.
Yeah,
He's in the UT weight room.
He would do that, and there's a lot of great pictures of him actually. He was exercising the day of 9/11. People don't realize that. He actually was out for a run before that, and before he got to the school with the kids. And he was. If I look back at from the Clinton administration to the Bush administration, W was very. He wanted to take care of the staff. He wanted you to go exercise. He wanted you to go home at 5 o'clock and be with your family. Here's a great example. So, at the end of the day, if you have a White House badge, you can take friends and family on a tour of the West Wing. The president can't be there. So when Clinton was in office, he would stay in the Oval Office and 6, 7, 9 o'clock at night, he's still in there. And what was funny was you had people coming in from all over the world for these tours, and they couldn't take them. But I remember when Bush got in office, he said there can only be a handful of tours every night. And he was. I actually followed Bush time. If you're 15 minutes early, you're late.
Lombardi.
Yeah. Clinton was notorious for when we get around to it. And I also remember I could show up in the Oval Office like this. I had a white shirt, polo shirt with shorts on, not a problem. When W was in office, suit and tie, no question. I had to keep a suit and tie in my office.
That came from his dad.
Yeah, if I ever got called over. Now I got a couple funny stories about that. I remember one time the president was mountain biking and he fell, took a nasty fall. He had this big cut on his forehead. He had a press conference.
Yeah.
He just had the bandage on his forehead, gave the press conference. It was no big deal. And it really kind of humanized the president in my eyes. After that, we put him on a Precor elliptical machine, the ellipticals. It had to be Precor. And I got a call on the south lawn, there is a pool. And at the pool, there's a cabana hut. And that's where the President W would work out. And I got a call from the usher's office saying, "Hey, Ted, the elliptical's broken." So I went over and looked at it. It wasn't broken. The president didn't want to put his weight in, right? So he thought it was broken. So I go back to the usher's office. "It's not broken." He said, "Well, you got to buy him a new one because he'll know if we didn't replace it." So here's his credit card number. So one of the things I do miss about the White House, I could call anybody and they'd answer. So I call the president of Precor, say, "Hey, this is Ted from the White House. I need a Precor." Great. So they sent me one from New York City. It's on the way down. Now, to get into the White House, I need your name, date of birth, social security number, because they're going to run a background check on you. And if there's anything on your record, you're not getting in. In fact, I remember one time there was someone that hadn't paid child support, came into the White House, and they arrested him.
Oops.
That's right. So I get a call about 9 o'clock at night. The driver and the assistant from Precor, the shipping company from New York, Russian nationals. So I had the president's elliptical machine delivered to my house. I had a buddy with a pickup truck. We put his elliptical on the back of his pickup, strapped it in, 6:30 in the morning, driving into D.C. on the interstate with the president's elliptical behind us.
Nice.
And we get there, and they're like, "The president's going to be here in 5 minutes. He's coming in from Camp David, so the helicopter's coming. You got to get it in, get it out before he gets there." So we get it out. My buddy takes off with the old. I'm plugging it in, and I can hear the helicopter about to land. I look out the window. Here comes the president to work out. I plugged it in, went out the back door. President came in, got his workout.
Never knew.
Never knew. Although, here's what I did.
So you could be a spy.
I could have been. What I did was I called Precor and said, "The president weighs, 195 pounds. I need you to put a chip in there. So no matter what, he weighs 195 pounds.
Yeah.
So I fixed the machine.
Awesome. Yeah. Dr. Ted Vickey, a.k.a.
Well, let me tell you a story about the Democrats. I walk into the men's room one morning. There's a Democratic politician, I'm not going to say who it was. You know those scales at the doctor's office with the sliding?
Yeah.
He had a dime and he's turning the wheel at the end. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He said, "I weighed too much, so I changed it." He was 10 pounds heavier. So for the past 3 months, he adjusted the weight so it got to the number he wanted.
And everybody that came in
for 3 months.
Was 10 pounds lighter.
Yep.
Good for morale.
Well, only in D.C. would you be able to change the rules.
Yeah, I lost 10 pounds this weekend. I didn't even know it.
So
well, you were there, though, during 9/11.
Yeah, I was there 9/11.
What? Tell me about that.
I had so I was at the White House. My second client was Fruit of the Loom. You'll like this one. President Fruit of the Loom calls and said, "You run the fitness center at the White House?" "Yes, sir, I do." "Good. I just hired you. Come out and build me a fitness center in Bowling Green, Kentucky." So I went out and built it for him. Part of that contract was I got underwear for life.
You told me that.
I put that in the contract.
You still have underwear for life?
No, I don't like underwear. Sylvania was the next one we had in New Hampshire.
Light bulbs for life?
Light bulbs. But you know what was interesting was going from the White House, where you have PhDs from Harvard and Oxford and those, going to a light bulb plant where people can't read and write. We had to be able to figure out. Look, at the end of the day, you're there to help people live healthier lives. How do you blend the two?
Yeah.
And that was in the 90s. So I used some technology then, and I managed it remotely, but I had a staff that was there. So I had built up this portfolio of clients, and I sold in 2001 to an occupational medicine company. And I actually, 9/11, I opened the facility. We opened at 6:30 in the morning, and my staff came in about 8:15, and I drove out to our board meeting. And I remember I listened to Howard Stern at the time, and Howard Stern, Baba Booey came on and said, "Plane just hit the World Trade Center." I didn't think anything of it. Went into the board meeting, and our admin came in about an hour later. "You guys got to turn the TV on." So we had a nurse on the top of the World Trade Center that we lost at a health unit. But it knowing that plane was coming for us, I called, and I could just hear the fear in the voice of my staff. We were closed that Wednesday. Thursday, I did the full shift, 6:30 until 8:30. I wouldn't let my staff come in, but we were evacuated 3 times, because there was just so much stuff going on that we didn't know what was realizing. But yeah, it did, things like that change your life.
Yeah. Well, the one that was headed for the White House was the Pennsylvania crash, right?
It was. Yep.
Let's roll.
Yeah. That was. I don't even want to think about what would happen. When you hire people and you have staff, and hopefully no one ever has to have that, but to know that the reason why they are there is because you hired them, and something happens to them, it was hard to fathom. But after that, we the company that I sold to did all of the fitness and health evaluation for every TSA employee in the country, 65,000 tests.
Wow.
I remember going to the chairman of the company and said, I got a problem making money off of a terror attack. And he said, if we don't do it, someone else is going to. So just do your best and do that. And we did. I mean, it was, we went to every airport in the U.S.
Over how long of a time?
About 8 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
We just trained them.
No, what we did was.
Or evaluate them.
We evaluate them. So we were part of a team. We would go in and they would rent out a hotel, the entire hotel. First floor was security, couldn't get in there. Second floor, medical. Third floor, fitness. Top floor was background. And it was just a line of people coming in, and you could fill one of these places. And we couldn't leave the town until we met the quota of the number of TSA agents. Hardest place to hire for was Baltimore, Maryland, for some reason. We couldn't hire there. So we had a pretty good year that year.
Which is pretty close to Washington, D.C.
It's one of the airports. Yeah. But it was then that I realized my mom had just been diagnosed with cancer. This was 2004. And she wanted to see each one of us kids once last time in Pittsburgh. And I went in and Mom said, "I'm so proud of what you've done in life, but you worked too hard." She died a day later. And I said, "You know what? Mom's right. I'd been married, got divorced. I had ate, slept, drank, the White House.
And I probably had to.
Yeah, you had to. And so I went to the chairman of the company and said, "I'm done. I want to take a sabbatical. I want to retire for a little bit." I'd saved up some money. He said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I'm going to honor my mother's memory." I always said I was getting a master's degree. I didn't need it. I mean, I was up the corporate ladder. And I said, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to sell everything I own and move to Ireland."
And you did.
Well, I did. So I interviewed at Trinity College, which is their Notre Dame equivalent. And I remember them saying, "Okay, we get up at 6 in the morning. We wear suits and ties. You meet with your classmates and this and that. go to the library, and then go to bed at 9. I'm like, I don't need this. I want this. So I actually went to the University of Limerick. It's like turning down Harvard to go to Lone Star College. So Trinity still won't talk to me. But I had the best time at Limerick. I was 38, played water polo again.
Jeez.
Started, and we won the Irish national title. And I just wanted to get away. I didn't want anyone to know who I was. I used to get stuck behind buggies, horse-drawn buggies going to class. I just loved it. Thatched houses. And then the Irish government said, hey, you interested in a PhD? I'm like, well, tell me about it. They said, well, whatever you want. The Irish government had this program. They call them schemes. It's funny. Here we think a scheme is a bad thing. There it's a good thing. But they wanted to increase the number of PhD exports. So they'd bring in people like me, pay for the PhD, and we go around talking how great it was to be in Ireland. So that's what I did. So for 3 years, they said, pick anything you want. So I said, I want to study this new iPhone that's come out because I think you can live healthier lives with this iPhone. So that's what I did. For 3 years, I studied how can we live healthier lives.
Had to be fun. I mean, Irish Catholic.
Yep.
Bunch of family. Mm-hmm. I mean, your whole heritage was based on that. Your grandparents probably came over from Ireland.
It was the last vacation Mom and I took with her siblings. So
nice.
It was kind of special.
Yeah.
So, my PhD is the first on wearables. In fact, this water bottle I'm drinking, it's kind of funny. It blinks. When I don't drink enough water, this will blink at me and saying I'm behind. Now you probably wonder, why does a guy with a PhD need to have this reminder to drink water? Do you drink enough water every day?
No, nobody does.
But it blinks.
What?
Yeah, I'll get it. I turned it
Hydrate
off.
Spark.
Hydrate Spark. No, I turned
That's
it
what
off.
I want. Somebody else bothering me.
Well, it could be water. It could be whatever beverage you want.
Water's good.
Yeah.
What's in here?
I
don't know.
But it looks good. But
so let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You got your first degree from Penn State?
Exercise science.
Yeah. So I got my master's in exercise science at U of H.
Yeah.
So you got a exercise science degree.
Yeah.
And then you went to the
the White House.
Yeah. And then you got a master's in Ireland.
International business and entrepreneurship.
And then a PhD there.
Engineering of all things. I can't draw a straight line, but I have a PhD in engineering.
You're just a career student, water polo,
golf wannabe
extraordinaire. Yeah.
Now, one of the things I did while I was in Ireland, it was 2000. I think it was 2009. I said I want to go to every one of the majors. I'm in Ireland. I might as well go to the British Open.
It's right there.
I drove from Ireland, got on a ferry, went to. It was the year that Tom Watson almost won. Remember? And Stuart Sink won. And it was like in February. I went on the website. Work for free, you get a free ticket. I'm like, yeah, I'll pick up trash for a ticket. So I had to send my resume in, and I got a call from the RNA. You're kind of overqualified to be picking up trash.
Yeah.
So they put me with ESPN. And I was a spotter. Now, a spotter for a golf tournament like that is different than what you think, like looking for balls. Think of it this way. When you're at a football game, the announcers see everything. Golf, you can't. So there needs to be someone with all the golfers to say where they are, what their shot is. So I was a spotter. So I get where's Phil? Phil's on the third hole, third shot for birdie. And then you hear Mike Tirico, we're going to the third hole. This is the third shot for birdie, right? So we did that. And what was funny was ESPN would bring over the crew from the States. When we were in Scotland, have you heard the Scottish accent?
Oh, yeah.
On Sunday,
Robin Williams made it famous.
Oh, that's right. That's a good one. But the producers couldn't understand it. So there were 3 Americans. So for 3 years, we had the last 3 groups because when it got really chaotic, they wanted to make sure that the announcers would know. So I was actually with Phil Mickelson when he won.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So I was supposed to go this year. This would have been my 13th. And now
For the British.
I'm Tommy Fleetwood's personal security guard.
He's done well.
Yeah.
Really?
One of the nicest, not only the nicest golfers, nicest humans I've ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done well.
Yeah, he has.
Good for him. So now you've got this new gig in the Woodlands.
Yes, I do.
And you're doing a fitness thing here?
I am. So, I met a woman.
A woman. Yeah. Thank God. Heterosexual.
Yes. I was living in San Diego. About a year ago, we moved here, and I was on the back nine thinking, oh, I'll just keep playing golf and doing this. But she really wanted to open a functional wellness clinic. So think of it this way. I'm of the opinion we don't have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system.
Yeah.
And like you told me earlier about getting the blood work done. Well, imagine if you come to a place like us where we do more than 7 tests for your physical. We do 80 tests. We do diagnostics from your DNA. We do everything. And it kind of goes back to, I wish I had this at the White House because it would have been so much more effective. But we do a baseline, and I can now say, and this kind of goes to my PhD, I'm a numbers guy. Vinny, here are the things where you're deficient. Might be vitamin D, vitamin B, all these things.
Why has it got to be Vinny? I mean, couldn't it be somebody else like
Chad? Chad. So just to give the information back to the people to be able to make health decisions.
Oh.
And then here's what we can do. Like, do you take supplements?
I take a vitamin.
Why?
I don't need to.
How do you know?
Because I read about it on Google. It's got to be true. No, it's really, people overdo their supplements. And you get most of your vitamins right out of your diet. Sometimes I don't eat right. Yeah. Sometimes I don't drink enough water.
Exactly.
Right?
Which is why I'm going to get you one because blink, it can tell you it's time to drink water. But so we do a supplement panel, like what should you be taking? And we'll give you a report saying, based on your information, this is what you can do. We then can do the IV drips. So you might not want to take a pill every day. We can come in and we can do IV drips. We call it BeeWell.
That's big now.
Oh yeah, it's huge. We call it BeeWell, so they're called bee stings. So you come in and you get a bee sting. We do peptides, right? So peptides are natural. And look, I don't have nothing against the medical community, but there are times where there's other things that you can do to live healthier lives. We go up GLP-1s. We go up to, we call it regenerative therapy because you can't really market the stem cells, but we do regenerative therapy. So we pick the woodlands. Now, we're adding on the things I did with my PhD, wearable data. So if you have a Fitbit watch or an Apple Watch, I now can monitor you when you're not with me at the gym.
Very cool.
And I use AI to figure out how you want to be talked to. So I'd love to be able to have everyone put their hands up. But if I ask the audience, what type of trainer would you want? Would you want the compassionate coach? Would you want the data-driven, or you want the drill sergeant? You want the drill sergeant.
Absolutely. So
if I'm watching your steps and I know you want to take 5,000 steps a day and you're not reaching your goal, what benefit is it? You see your trainer 6 days later, hey, Vinny, on Tuesday you didn't work out. Oh, yeah, I forgot. But now with AI, I can, and because I know you like a drill sergeant, I can say, Vinny, you son of a, you know what? You suck. You didn't do your steps. Drop and give me 50.
Yeah, this is what you said you're going to do, and you didn't do it. I had a real estate coach like that, and it was amazing how she pushed me.
Yeah.
And every week, this is what you said you were going to do. And if you don't do it, she made me write a check for $1,000 if I didn't get X number of appointments or make X number of calls or whatever the goal was. And if I didn't meet that, I had to give her the $1,000 to put into a charity. And that's tough when you're giving people money for things that you can, and she didn't make the goal unattainable. She made it challenging. And that sounds like what you're doing.
Well, absolutely. You know, this smartphone that keep in our pockets 24/7. I did this at the White House. Well, they wouldn't let me do it, but I thought this. First of all, 10,000 steps a day, there's no scientific basis around it. It was a Japanese term that rhymed with 10,000.
Yeah, I read about that.
What do you think about this? You are working as in the White House as a Republican, and we have a step challenge. So you got to reach 5,000 steps a day. If you miss 5,000 steps a day, you're writing a check to the Democratic National Committee.
No, that's what this was. I had to write a check to another agent that worked at a different broker. I don't want to do that.
Or, you know, for me, I'm writing a check for Ohio State or Texas A&M to Texas, right? So there are ways that we can stay motivated and we keep people. And I think one of the reasons why you hire a personal trainer, accountability, motivation, education. Can we do all that on a smartphone? Yes. So when we decided to come to Houston, and some people thought, you're opening up a new company in the middle of the woodlands, you don't know anyone. Like, yeah, might not have been the best idea, but there have been so much support, and we're really excited.
What's the name of it?
BeeWell.
Tell them right there. BeeWell. And
BeeWell Functional Wellness.
BeeWell Functional Wellness.
Yep.
And how do they Is there a website?
BeeWellWoodlands.com.
BeeWell, BeeWell,
WELL, woodlands.com.
nice.
And so our good friend Kevin, the real estate, he said, where is it? I'm like, oh, Canes, across the street. No. In the Woodlands, you got to give a street sign. So it's on the corner of Six Pines and Research Forest.
Yeah.
There's a Valero there.
Yeah.
Goody, or I say Goody, but Good Company.
Yep.
It's across the street.
Yeah. I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. So we're in a 2-story medical
Two
building.
metal, and I mean, is there a cost to this deal? It's got to be.
Yeah, there's a cost. And this isn't for everybody. And we don't take insurance. One of the reasons why is because, insurance companies don't want to cover all the things that we're going to cover.
Sure.
So this is definitely something that we obviously think is beneficial.
Is there like a time span, like you pay for 3 months, or you pay for a month, or you pay for a year? Or...
You can do all sorts of things. You can be one-off. So if you want to come in and do blood work, we can do that. If you want to do vitamins, we can do that. If you want to do the bee stings, we can do that. But we have health programs that we can do for 3 months up to a year, right? And then at the end of the year, we reevaluate. Because, look, we're here to help people, and we have the data to prove it. Like, one of the hardest things as a personal trainer in the fitness industry was if you're working out with me and I'm your trainer, well, I can give you my knowledge. I can help make sure that you're exercising, but it's up to you. But there's no way to quantify that. Now, with all this data, with the wearables, with sleep is one that we're really looking at. If you don't get a good night's sleep, it doesn't matter how much you work out. Supplementation, eating the right foods. So what we've done is kind of brought everything together. So nutrition, right? I can give you the best nutrition plan, but people go home, I do it, stop at McDonald's, right? So we're even going to bring in personal chefs. Say, here's what Vinny needs, here's what he likes to eat. Now we got the personal chef coming in. So there's going to be no excuses when it comes to being healthier.
You talk about digestion. There's underwear now that can determine your farts.
Well,
and AI documents it. I was like, is that true? It's true. So, I was a biochemistry major, molecular biology, and at breakfast this morning at Do-Si-Do, sitting around with all the guys that I see every Friday morning, we solve the world's problems in an hour. I don't know what takes the government so long.
Yeah, I don't either.
And we talked about biochemistry, and somebody said something about peptides. And I talked about, like it's all about energy production, the ATP and the mitochondria. Uh-huh. And the guy next to me goes, the what? I said, mitochondria. That's way down in the nucleus. And that's where my training was.
The Krebs cycle.
The Krebs cycle. Nobody knows about the Krebs cycle.
That's right.
And like when people talk about nutrition, I was big into that because that's where I got my exercise science degree.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't even know how it works. And if you can just whittle it down to the inside of a cell where your energy is made and how it's made, there's a lot of scams out there. I mean, people, the creatine thing, 15, 20 years ago, I had Kevin Bass's son that was playing for me in the summer, and he took so much creatine, he sweat like a farm animal, and he cramped up. He got so dehydrated from too much creatine. I said, a little bit, not twice as much. Yeah. Just like the steroids. When the guys were doing steroids are good for you. They help you recover, but not, overdoing it, right? And that's where people were dying. It blew up their heart valves and everything else. So when they come in, what's the first day? I mean, they come in and say, hey, Ted, I want to sign up. What do they got to do?
First thing we do a blood panel, right? So we order all the blood work. It comes back. Now I also have an interest, and I've written a couple books on AI. So within the fitness industry, I've been spending a lot of time teaching how to use AI. So we've actually built our system around how do we use the best parts of AI. Doesn't mean AI is going to create everything. It means AI is going to help us get to the point. And there's always a human looking at it. So we get this full blood panel. When I did mine, I found out that the statin, my cholesterol pill, and the testosterone I was on cancel each other out. 2 different doctors. Well, I now have that information. I no longer take the statin. So I found other ways we do that. So you do the blood panel. Some people might decide, it says that I need some supplementation. We're working with some of the higher end supplementation companies, and we can order those for people. People might want to come in, and we have a salt room, beautiful salt room. There's some benefits of having salt in the. Well, look, you go to the ocean, you sit there, right? So we have it there in the Woodlands. So it's a salt room. So you come in and do that. We're going to have some devices that help with breaking up inflammation.
Excuse me.
So it's peptides, it's the injections, it's concierge wellness. You bring us all the challenges you have. We're going to work with you to figure out what it is that we can do. And if we can't help you, we'll find someone that can.
Who's the person the average person that would walk in there and say, "What do you got? I need some help."
We think it's probably a former athlete like you or me.
Yeah.
It's somebody.
You take people this old.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're finding a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of leaders in the industry. Industries want to come in. Look, they want to invest in their health. Like, they're tired of getting numbers back from the doctor saying, "Well, all your blood levels are normal, but you still feel terrible." So let's figure out why that is. So a lot of executives are coming in. Stay-at-home moms are coming in, right? Because they're sedentary, or look, they're going to the club and they're playing pickleball and they're getting injured. So we've got programs. We've got programs for golfers, right? Golfers will spend any amount of money to play better golf. And maybe it's not buying a new driver. Maybe it's figuring out, look, if I get my swing back a little bit more, like the book,
101 tips to be better.
Well, we have those at the office, but getting the rotation, right? So we have those things. And I tell you what, my handicap has dropped since I've started doing a lot of these things. I think
really.
I'm gotten to play more
So,
golf.
what do you find is the most problematic or the most hyped cure to make people feel better? I mean, everybody's doing GLP-1s now. My son's lost 65 pounds.
Good for him.
Doing that. And he looks great. I just don't know. My feeling's always been, the magic pill that helps you lose weight, and then people add another 10% on after they get off of it. And there's no secret. The secret is, if you eat less calories and you burn more calories, you're going to lose weight. It's just science.
It is. That's a big one. And look, I'm a scientist at heart, so I will go through and tear some of these ideas apart. GLP-1s, in my mind, are great. It's helping so many people. GLP-1s plus behavior change plus exercise. Now you're talking about a combination,
right?
Right. So what we're finding is if you take GLP-1s, you get off it, you're probably going to gain that weight back. So some people have to stay on a little bit of it over the course of.
Yeah. Do they have like a smaller dose?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do?
Yeah.
Serena Williams, she lost 40 pounds.
Yeah.
She also lost in the first round.
But
she doesn't need to be out there playing tennis. She's the best tennis player ever, right?
She is.
And she doesn't need to prove anything.
A lot of people will suggest, well, if you take GLP-1s, well, you're going to lose muscle mass. Well, how about we do some push-ups at the same time? Let's exercise, right? So there are ways that we get around that. So when we do the GLP-1s, our goal is that we have more than just the GLP-1. We're going to teach you how to eat better. We're going to teach you how to move better. So it's not just shooting stuff at the wall hoping something's going to stick.
Well, when people come in, you say you do a blood work. So on your staff, you have like a phlebotomist or a nurse or.
Yep.
Wow.
We can also do it remotely. So we could send.
You can take your own blood.
Well, yeah, there are some devices that do that now. You probably see.
Shut up.
Yeah, there are. You just you put it on a little arm, you stick it in there. It draws a little bit of blood. You send it into a lab, and they analyze it for you. But we could work with Quest. We could LabCorp, right?
Quest.
So it could be anywhere across the country. We could do this. Now, obviously, so we have two pillars. We call it BeeWell Anywhere, right? So you just and then BeeWell Woodlands. But here's what's exciting about it is, having been in the fitness city for 30 years, I've got fitness clubs come to me saying, "Can we use this in our clubs?"
Yeah.
Right. So imagine being able to do the blood work and being able to do the supplementation and being able to do there are a lot of clubs now looking at GLP-1s. Now that's a great model, right? Everything we do is physician oversight, right? I'm not pulling any weird stuff, but it's exciting.
Do you refer people out to different physicians? Or physicians on board that say, "Look, if you need our help," like I'm a family practice guy.
I'm surprised. When I moved to Houston, I had to get new doctors. Every doctor I've talked to in Houston and the Woodlands has said, "We want to refer people to you."
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear that in California. I mean, California, and I get it. Even interviewing
Shocker.
nurses, interviewing nurses. nurses are tired of not being able to help people. We're giving them an opportunity to do that, right? Through health coaching, being able to do this. So that's real exciting for us to be able to.
So are they on staff or do they work part-time? I mean, you have like a nurse that works at the hospital and then she says, well, I'm going to go over there for a couple hours and work out.
So the business model has changed. I've hired hundreds, if not thousands of people. Hiring nurses has become very, some of them don't want a full-time job, which is great.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, health and fitness, I've been doing it for 36
No, but I mean, this
years.
new gig, the B.
So we've been planning it. We planned it over the last year, and we just got our certificate of occupancy 2 days ago.
Oh,
yeah.
So you're good to go.
We're opening the doors probably by the time this airs, probably a couple of weeks after, probably August 1st.
And you've hired thousands of people over this 30 years.
Over the years. I'm just saying it's hard. Being able to hire nurses is much more challenging than it was hiring.
All right. So what's the cost? Because everybody's going to be asking that.
Well, it depends. We have one with called the BeeWell baseline, where we do just the blood panels. About $400
For the month or forever?
No, one time, $400.
Okay.
We also have programmings that we can do online. So you can do the online membership, $99. If you come in, you get services through the BeeWell Woodlands, a little bit more. But we go all the way up to. I've got some people that want me to help them. The guy that helped the presidents. I'm a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get that high level.
So you're like $101.
Yeah, a little bit more than that.
$1 per tip.
101 times a couple. But look, it's there are people that want this. There are people that can pay it. There are people that want to pay this. So we've got a wide range. We've got a lot of free things that we want to give people. It's not about we want to be part of this community. We want people to realize that they can be part of their health. Picking up grandkids or playing better golf or playing better tennis.
Sure.
So we want to partner with realtors. We want to partner with country clubs.
We're in the greatest shape ever, realtors, because we're always running to the appointments.
Well, we have one. In fact, we're going tomorrow. We've got a smart mirror that about the size of that light there. It's the same technology in the back of your Apple Watch. The red light.
Right.
It looks at your face.
And
it gives you a health score.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I'm a tech guy.
I'm not sure I want that.
Well, I'm a tech guy, so I saw this. I'm like, this is fantastic. But it's out of Canada, but they're making this technology where, think of this, a virtual health visit. They now can take your blood pressure, your temperature, and your heart rate just by looking at this. Now, that just changes the ballpark, if you ask me. I mean, why do you have to go into a doctor's office anymore?
Oh, well, yeah. You see all these ads on TV about buy this and we'll send you all the drugs and you'll have them in case you get, a infection or you need an antibiotic or you need something, right? Dr. Oz is not Dr. Oz, but the other guy, the blonde-haired guy that's on Fox a lot. He's promoting that with another guy.
There you go. Look, it's blinking. I'm behind my water drinking.
Okay. Do you want to take a break or go to the bathroom?
We're good.
So I mean, of course, when you go to the doctor, you got to wait an hour to see him after your appointment. And then it's like, well, if you're sick, for the call is, if this is a medical emergency, call 911. Well, if you don't know that, you shouldn't be dialing the doctor anyway.
Yeah.
But, right? I mean, medicine has changed. I was pre-med. I wanted to be a doctor. And I'm so glad that I'm not now because the medical industry has changed so much. You've been around medical for a long time. But how does a president and their staff trust a 24-year-old? I mean, that to me is unprecedented. Yeah, let's hire the 24-year-old kid. A lot of energy. They knew what you were talking about.
It's going to surprise you.
Smoke and mirrors.
I'm an introvert.
Really?
But I had to learn how to be, I think when you have a passion, like what I had of being able to help people, it comes through. I remember when I was at HUD, my first job, I made $18,500 a year. I thought I was on cloud nine.
Rich, right?
I was rich.
Oh, yeah.
But then I realized I could either pay my rent or I could pay my car insurance. Right? But there was a guy, I never forget, his name was Porter Davis. Porter, when I started working with him, was severely overweight. And we're working out one day, and he said, I got to tell you something. I said, what's up, Porter? He said, I want to thank you. You saved my life. What are you talking about? He said, before I started working out with you, I was depressed. My marriage was terrible. I thought about ending life. But you gave me hope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I remember thinking, this is why I do this. It's if you do what you love, the financial success could come to you. But that was a very important lesson for me. You know, it wasn't all about, like, you don't get in the fitness industry to become a millionaire.
Oh, no.
You do it to help people.
Yeah, it's funny because I've always been a jock, played a bunch of sports and growing up in high school. And when I moved to the Woodlands, we actually opened up a health and racquetball club, the Woodlands Health and Racquetball Club. And we went to George Mitchell, you know, the Woodlands Corp, and said, you know, there's no workout place for you guys. You should have your executives come over and maybe subsidize their dues. The dues were like $60 a month. And we had racquetball courts, we had a restaurant, a bar, we had saunas, we had Nautilus. Remember Nautilus? That was the biggest thing going. Aerobics, everything. And this was in the early 80s. So, excuse me, you know, more than 40 years ago, I was big into fitness. I thought, man, if you want to live a long life, or at least have a chance to live a long life, bar genetics, then you got to stay in good shape. And you hear Sylvester Stallone all the time saying, you got to take care of this, you know. And that guy's mid-70s, and he still looks like he could kick everybody's butt. He probably can. And so, plus he's Italian. Hey, how you doing? So, you know what I'm saying? It's just that, so I've always been big into exercise. I had a car wreck several years ago, and I had to sit around for 8 months with a wound vac because they gave me a staph infection. Didn't charge me extra, just gave it to me.
Gave it to you, yeah.
And I didn't realize how bad a shape I got in for 8 months because I couldn't go anywhere. I had that thing in my back, couldn't walk anywhere without the tape falling off. And so the last year, I really worked hard in trying to get back in shape. I went to the doctor yesterday, blood pressure. I said, what do you think it is? And she said, 138 over 90. I said, 121 over 78. She goes, what? I said, yeah, is this thing right? So I'm like, that's what you got to have. One of my best friends just passed away 3 months ago, aortic aneurysm. Just gone. And that guy was in good shape. Apparently not, but he was in good shape, but he he smoked. That's a big deal. And drank a lot of energy drinks because he was a home inspector and always did a lot of stuff. So to hear that there's opportunities for people to take care of their bodies. You know, you said earlier, I had to get away. You know, I didn't want to die working. And nobody on their deathbed has ever said, God, I wish I had worked another day. I wish I worked harder. And no, it's the important things in life are your family, obviously, and your health. And if you don't have both of those things, even forget my family, but if you don't have your health, I mean, it's tough to have family events because when they come over for Thanksgiving, you know you're going to pig out. You got to be able to hang with all those grandkids for 10 hours when they get out there, right?
Well, you have to, and you know, I think we have this notion of exercise is you got to go to a gym, right? It's not. It's gardening. It's playing golf. It's playing pickleball. Walking is the best thing. So this is a new one. This is called a Hume. This is one that we're going to have at the clinic. It's kind of like a Whoop, right? So here's the sensor. Have you seen the Whoop?
I have not seen that.
So the Whoop is probably one. It's a great device, but it's probably more for athletes.
A&M's seen it. Whoop.
But this one's more for I think the general public. This takes blood pressure. It takes heart rate. It takes temperature, right? I wear a ring at night to measure my sleep. My watch.
Yeah, I saw that. So, how do you spell that?
This is a Hume, Hume.
Oh, Hume.
Whoop is the athletic version.
What is that? How do you spell that?
WHOOP.
A&M.
Whoop.
Cool. So, what do you get it on your phone? It downloads all your information?
Everything. But here's the beautiful part. So we pull this data in. So I know, Vinny, I can see what you're doing. So if I see trends, if I see that your heart rate is not, come on in, let's talk. Let's figure out how we can make that better. So there are a lot of devices. Walking, I think, is the best thing you can do. Now, I'm going to, for guys like you and me, when I played water polo and swim, if I'm out in the corner throwing up, it wasn't a workout.
Right.
So there are people like us that you just got to get it through your head that, exercise, walking. Here's the beautiful thing that I do. My dad's turning 92 next week. If you tell my dad to go take 10,000 steps a day, he's either going to get hurt or he can't do it. So for a step program, here's what I want you to do. For 1 week, just measure the number of steps that you take. Let's assume it's 3,000. Week after, 10% more. Week after, 10% more. And you keep track of it. I guarantee you, I can't guarantee, but I'm almost certain, just by monitoring those things, you're gonna take more steps.
Yeah. You remember when Oprah used to lose all her weight?
Yeah.
Right? That's what she said. She came in with the red cart with 50 pounds of fat in it. She goes, this is what I've got carrying around. I got to get rid of it. And she said, I'd go and walk a half a mile one day. And then the next day I'm walking 3/4 of a mile. And then the next day a mile. And then maybe I'll run a quarter and walk 3. And she said, we just have to build up to it. It's kind of like any business. I mean, you don't just jump in and become super successful. You got to pay your dues and work your way up. And this is going to be great for not just the Woodlands, but Montgomery County. We got 800,000 people in Montgomery County. Yeah. And, you go to Italy and there's not one fat person.
No.
And if it is, they're probably from America.
Yep.
It's crazy. And they walk a lot.
Yeah.
And mostly because gas is so expensive and they drive those little Fiats. But Europeans, I noticed, look healthier. I don't know if they are healthier, but there's really not a lot of obesity in Italy. I know that the best because I go there the most.
Yeah.
And that's important.
I'm Italian. Did you know that? Vickey is actually Vecchio. Vecchio.
You're Irish Catholic. Shut up. Vecchio.
My great grandfather.
You know what Vecchio means, right?
Yeah, old.
Yeah.
My great grandfather moved from Rochester to Erie,
New York.
Yeah, Rochester to Erie, Pennsylvania. He went into the railroads to get a job. This was in the 20s with Vecchio as the name, and they said, "We're not hiring you."
Yeah.
He and his brother went down, changed the name to Vickey. Next day, went back to the same guy, got the job.
My grandfather, Mancuso, tried to buy a house. No, you're not getting any loans for a house. Went back, Mason. Oh, okay. I saw a deal yesterday about the Italian heritage and how the Bank of Italy, is now the Bank of America. The guy that started that was an Italian guy because nobody could get a loan. Yeah. So he opened up a bank and gave all the Italian guys. Of course, a lot of Italian guys, did their own loaning.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Well, baby tomorrow. I slap you.
But no, I'm a Vecchio.
A Vecchio. I knew I liked you for a reason.
Well, I got another reason why you like me. I know you're a big baseball fan. So I think they still do this, but they have baseball teams, or softball teams rather, for all the agencies at the White House.
Yeah.
So this one will be called the Trump, I forget the vice president's name. What's his name?
Vance.
Trump Vance League.
So he also works on memory loss.
I do. What was Bush Quail League when I was there. So I printed these hats for the White House team, and there's my company name on there. So I'm going to give you that.
Fitwell.
And then we're BeeWell. There are only...
Dude.
Oh, here's something else.
The White House Athletic Center. How about that?
You want to know the White House story?
Absolutely.
So this is one of the reasons why. So we had a pro shop where we would sell hats and shirts and what have you to raise money for new equipment. And I get a call and they want to have coffee mugs. I said, okay, where do you want the coffee mugs from? I said, I'll just get them. So I call my vendor and the coffee mugs come. I buy 12 dozen. Send it over to the West Wing. Get a call. Ted, turn over the coffee mug. You know what it said? Made in China.
Yeah.
With the White House logo on it.
These are too. And you notice I cut that off there.
So I had 12 dozen. So I had an intern. So he and I scraped off Made in China. But no, after that, so the reason that is a Made in America hat.
I give away a lot of flags.
Yeah.
And some of them are made in China.
Yeah.
And I have a lady that I give for the veterans out in Magnolia. She said, can you get me 100 flags for Veterans Day like you do every year? I said, yeah. I'd like them to be made in America. I said, well, I want you to rethink it because think about all those little Chinese guys making American flags and being pissed off about it. American flag from China. I'm thinking, yeah. Pretty soon we'll be making all those here for the same amount.
Yeah.
It's
So it was important for us to find some vendors.
This is awesome.
Hard.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm a hat guy, so this is very cool. All right, so what's the next step? You got FitWell.
Well, FitWell.
FitWell is the name of the company.
No, BeeWell's the name of it. FitWell was my first company at the White House.
Okay.
You take fitness wells, put it together, and then we had to come up with a name. I'm like, well, why don't we call it BeeWell? So we did. So we're opening soon.
Because you sting, you stick them.
We either take blood or give. Well, we actually do that.
If you were telling somebody, just all the people that are watching, both of them,
Hi, Mom.
if you were going to tell them today before they come visit you, what would you tell them to start as far as getting fit? Go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Look, if you're
cut out sugar.
Well, we're Italian. We can't. How can we cut it?
It's tough. Cannoli.
Did you have wedding cookies at your wedding?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! If people don't know what wedding cookies are, the Italians.
Tom Berardi, my best friend, got married 48 years ago, and he had the wedding like from The Godfather.
Yes.
I mean, straight out, the doilies and the meat, the soup, and everything. So, and my wife, we're going to a family reunion tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? For the Zitos in Orange, Texas. He came in Galveston. And she's making stuffed shells.
Yeah, of course.
For 90 people.
Yeah.
She said, do you think I should make it for all 90 people? I said, well, there's going to be other food there.
Yeah.
Right? And she said, yeah, but the list doesn't really have a lot of stuff on it. I was only going to make one pan, but I think I'll make 3. Like, yeah.
Wow.
And if you don't eat when you go to an Italian house,
forget it.
They'll stab you.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
You'll never see that person again.
No.
Well, awesome. All right, well, cool.
Your question was, what do you do? I take steps. I mean, your phone can be a step counter. I mean, there are ways you don't have to buy anything else. Just go out and take steps.
Right.
Yeah.
Apple Watch
are great ones. How do you
get one of those Humes?
Well, I got a guy.
Okay. And then the other one is the Whoop.
The Whoop.
But the Hume, I think not only would I love that, my wife would, because she has high blood pressure.
Yeah.
And she takes Beats and the pill to lower it. But that would be cool if she got that just consistently. How does it do it, like at certain intervals, or is it just like all the time?
Now, this is actually redefining what blood pressure is, right? Because if you think of blood pressure, you got the cuff, you're pumping it up, you're measuring the pressure in there. So this is measuring with those green or red lights, blood flow through your arm. So through algorithms, which is computer technology for numbers, it figures out if this is what it looks like, then this is probably what the blood pressure is. So the Apple Watch does the same thing. There are some things that you can do. You could get a EKG report off your Apple Watch.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We've had these for how many years? We have all this data, but we don't know what to do with it. So that's the other reason why we exist is, let's see your data. I can show you. Here's what you have to track. And just having someone looking at that data, like you're going to a financial guy or gal, right? You go because you can do all it yourself, but you want some expertise to help you. Well, how do I plan for a future life?
Yeah.
Well, how about looking towards for your future health? So think of it that way. That's what we can do.
I work out. My goal is 5 days a week, and then usually the other 2 days I'm, cutting my lawn or the hedges or building something, just staying active.
Yeah.
And after I had that accident, I'm almost probably at 85 or 90% of where I want to be as far as health. And I find that I can actually, walk to my grandkids' baseball game from the parking lot without hurting anymore.
Yeah.
And going to another event to go watch my granddaughter play volleyball at the George R. Brown, which is, 2 miles long.
Yeah.
If her game's over on the other side, you're going to get your steps in. So health is really important. It's, other than genetics, like I mentioned earlier, you can live a really great life. The actuary charts for kids that are born today is 120 years.
Wow.
120. Remember, it used to be linear, right?
Yeah.
Now it's exponential because of the technology and better diet. I mean, Bobby Kennedy, let's get rid of all the dyes and the sugars. I mean, high fructose corn syrup is killing people. I mean, that's the and so I actually educated my wife and said, look, try not to buy things that have, and it's tough. I mean, ketchup.
Oh, it's
Syrup for the pancakes. I mean, she buys stuff that doesn't, it's cane sugar versus,
Yeah.
and we talked about the Krebs cycle. That's the whole thing.
That's the Krebs cycle.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. What else you want to tell people? How do they get in touch with it? Can they come by or?
Come by. Yeah, we're on the second floor, Suite 290, 8850 Six Pines Drive. Go to Canes. Look behind Canes. We're right there.
Pick yourself
BeeWellWoodlands.com.
up some canes afterwards.
Yeah, we'll give you coupons for Canes. But yeah, but look, we're new in the community. We want to be part of this community. If you're a physician or somebody that wants to partner with us, we will come. We will do events for you. We're going to work with some organizations and companies that want to have us come in. I did an analysis. In my old fitness center days, I think there were 11 corporate fitness centers in the Woodlands area. So if you're one of them, we're going to come see you.
Nice. Who was the toughest person to work with when you were at the White House all those years?
The toughest?
Who was the person that maybe, I don't want you to pull anybody throw anybody under the bus, but go ahead.
Well,
that was a long time ago. They're probably not even alive yet.
I used to say this. So 11 years, I had a lot of interns that come through. Monica wasn't one of them. But we would have the interns open up 6:30 in the morning. And I would sit them down and say, look, here's what's going to happen. There are people that come here to exercise in the morning. They bring in their suit and tie or dress or whatever, and they shower and shave and do whatever. And then they go meet with the president at 7:30 for the briefing. If you don't open at 6:30 and they can't go, and because of you start
man.
World War III.
Oh, man.
So for 11 years, we opened twice late. Same guy. But so I'm a recovering perfectionist. Think about it. A sign on the wall. If there's a misspelling, the President of the United States can see it. Your exercise science major. I had another politician. I was putting up a board in February, Heart Month, right? Comes up to me and says, "You do good kindergarten work." I'm trying to help you live a healthier life by showing you, heart things, but you live a good kindergarten work. So there were people, I don't think they really meant anything by it, but, you know what it's like in our industry. It's hard.
Yeah, it's tough. Okay.
Thanks, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Great meeting you.
Let's go golf.
Great story. Okay, let me read first.
Yeah, read first.
Hey, thanks. Vinny's out to lunch. Dr. Ted Vickey, go see him. Go get some blood work. Just find out how healthy or unhealthy you are. And the good news is there's help for everyone. We have great content on there. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.